Now, we do have another parging question that came in from Barbara. Barbara in Montreal. I was hoping to get her on the phone tonight, but that didn't work out. But she did send me some pictures. But she said, I did a search and I can't seem to find a solution to my problem on the web, or I don't know how to describe it. The cement sill under my window seems to have been resurfaced with a thin layer of stucco or something to that nature. It's the parging that we were just talking about. This layer is now cracking and about to fall off. How do I repair this? Okay, so let's take a look at her photos here. Let's see, where's her photos? There we go. So here's her window. And if you look at it here, and I'm going to turn on my pencil here, you see this nice big crack here, a lighter one up here. Notice the sort of wet look right here. And one thing that she probably didn't even notice that is important, if you look at the window over here, they caulked it here, they caulked it there, and they stopped. And look at this opening in the window frame. That has opened up to a clear crack, meaning that we'll have water coming in here, down underneath, and then coming under this parging. And if that happens during freeze-thaw periods, it forms ice crystals between the parging and the concrete, and that's what starts to break it all up. Now, it's possible that she has cracks in the concrete. Sometimes the concrete itself will crack like this. Again, from moisture sitting on it or something else. These things have to be made so they slope out with a drainage path. So now, since we're going to repair this one, if it has a slope, we can put something just smooth over the top. If it doesn't have a slope, we're going to put something on that has a slope to it. And we're going to caulk the window. And by doing that, we're going to get the water to run away. Okay? So what are we going to use to do that? One of the easiest things to use, let me just get the pencil off here, is something called Top and Bond. Top and Bond is from Sac Creek. And there are a lot of other products that are similar to this. It's a very, very thin, easy to work with, cementitious type of material. Okay? Has no big rocks in it. And it has the sand that is in it is very, very fine. So it allows you to come to a very smooth edge. It allows you to even work on horizontal or vertical surfaces like the front of her area. So it means that we could, with this, easily create a slope. And in fact, I invite you, if you go to sacrete.com and look up the Top and Bond, down in the bottom, I'm not going to play it right now, but down here towards the bottom, there's here we go, product videos. There's a video where they actually demonstrate fixing, actually it's a concrete sidewalk, but they're showing you how they're filling in a bad level and making a slope so it won't trip. In your case, you want that to come out. Now, I want to show you a couple of other tips just to make this all work. First of all is a technical thing. Some of these patching materials don't stick very well and need a bonding agent. And so there's a white glue-like stuff they sell in the store that you can mix using that instead of the water. Some of these, like Top and Bond, have special polymers in them. And when they have polymers, you do not want to use the bonding agent because they're incompatible. So if it doesn't say it has polymers or it says it's non-polymer, usually they just don't say anything, then you want the bonding agent and you use that instead of water. If you're, especially in our climate where it's tough to make it stick, and if it's using one like this that has polymers in it, then you absolutely don't use the bonding agent. So that's just a confusion I want to take care of. The other one is I want to do a little demo for you here. This is the sill of her window. Let's just say it's just a piece of wood, but let's say it's that sill, that white sill that we saw. And what was going on right now was that parging that she has was butted up against it, just up tight like that. Now, if we come back to the computer, take a look. You can see the parging was put up here like it was glued to the vinyl or the aluminum that is here. The fact of the matter is, no cementitious material is going to stick well to that. It will not stay as a waterproof joint. There's been some effort sometimes to caulk these things, but your caulking is all on the top, and it's really at a disadvantage. So we really don't want to come along with our new stuff and push it just right up to the window. We actually want to cut away all the old stuff as much as we can, but particularly near the window. If you even have to go in and dig it out a little bit, let's get it out so that we can put the new stuff in a different way. I want to use a backer rod would be nice, but it doesn't stay place. This is just foam insulation or foam weather stripping. And if you take anything about 1/4 inch thick, and no, this always happens. This stuff gets, there we go. We're going to get it off yet. It's very sticky when it does work, but always hard to strip this off. So if you were to put this temporarily on the edge of the windowsill, and if you're not doing this yourself, Barbara, show this to your contractor. Then you're going to come along, you're going to apply this other stuff so that it ends up coming up right there, up tight to this little piece here. And if necessary, it's all done on a slope so the water will flow off. You let it sit until it's like getting firm, but it's not dry. Okay, it's pretty close, but it's fairly firm, but not dry. And you're going to take this off. You're going to pull it right out so that it leaves behind a space, ideally about 1/4 inch in size. And then after everything's cured for a few days, you're going to come back and you're going to caulk that space. Just think of the difference of filling the space with caulking or putting a little bead on the top. This way, this is totally sealed down below. In fact, if you want to, you could bring that caulking flush, because I've got a whole thick layer of caulking down in the bottom. And so this is a way that we do this in a lot of things, particularly dealing with concrete, where we actually create a space for caulking to go later. Because when you just pour your concrete tight, you can't seal a joint. So sometimes between long runs of caulking for foundations, we'll put a board in before we pour the concrete and we'll pull the board out. Just a small little board. And that's a place to put the caulking right on a crack joint. Okay, so that's just some tips of how to do it. Now, if we just finish up with Barbara, she has a similar problem to our first letter where he has the parging coming off down below. This is down on the bottom of her wall, and their parging apparently wasn't done very well. Here they're covering bricks with it, and you can see it's starting to pop off, and it goes right down to the soil. In fact, it goes, you can see the bricks are all down in here. So this whole thing is kind of delicate, and they were really using the parging to resist all the water. That can be done. It's not the best design. It's better if that was concrete down there. But if we got to use parging on top of something like brick to hold the water out, then you want to make sure it's sealed very tightly. And after this is all cured, you're going to come back and put a water repellent sealer on the parging, so that it actually will force away water. Okay, it won't let the water in. If you just do a regular parging job, which tends to get wet and dry, it doesn't matter. But this one, where water can sit there, it does matter. And on the windowsill, we make a slope so the water doesn't sit there. Okay.